Buhari attended the platoon commander's course in Kaduna. He similarly perfected his military transport and logistics skills with the Mechanical Transport Officer's course at the Army Mechanical Transport School in Borden, United Kingdom in 1964. As he rose through the ranks, General Buhari visited Wellington, India in 1973 for a course at the Defence Services Staff College. As a colonel, between 1979 and 80, the no-nonsense soldier acquired a master's degree in strategic studies from U.S. Army War College in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, United States of America. Following his commission as second lieutenant in 1963, Buhari was appointed platoon commander of the 2nd Infantry Battalion, Abeokuta. Buhari stepped up and served as commander in the same battalion between 1965 and 1967. From Abeokuta, he moved to Kaduna as 2nd Sector Brigade Major of 1st Infantry Division from April 1967 to July of the same year. The army officer moved to the 3rd Infantry Brigade on the same rank between July 1967 and October 1968 before moving on to 31st Infantry Brigade as commandant between 1970 and 1971. Buhari's army career also saw him serve as Assistant Adjutant General, 1st Infantry Division Headquarters for 2 years, beginning from 1971. He served as Acting Director of Transport and Supply, Nigerian Army Corps of Supply and Transport Headquarters. While at the Defense Headquarters, Buhari served as Military Secretary and member Supreme Military Council from 1978 to 1979. General Muhammadu Buhari held many command posts, including General Officer commanding 3rd Armored Division Nigerian Army Jos, from where after the coup of December 31, 1983, he was invited by his colleagues to lead the nation as head of state and commander-in-chief, a position he held for 20 months before he was forced to retire following the August coup of 1985. While undertaking his military duties, General Muhammadu Buhari also served in various national administrative capacities. In the 1979 Murtala Obasanjo regime, Muhammadu Buhari was the governor of Northeastern State, which comprised all the current Northeast geopolitical zone. He subsequently served as Federal Commissioner or Minister for Petroleum and Natural Resources in the Obasanjo military regime in 1976. In retirement, Buhari served as the chairman of the Petroleum Trust Fund (PTF), set up by the Abacha administration to carry out development projects from excess funds saved from removal of petroleum subsidy. When he threw in his heart into politics, General Muhammadu Buhari pitched his tent with the All People's Party, which corrected its name to All Nigeria People's Party, ANPP. He won the presidential ticket of the party, but lost the general election to President Olusegun Obasanjo. Owing to his political appeal and large followership, General Buhari again clinched the ANPP presidential ticket for 2007 general election, but his PDP challenger, late President Umar Musa Yar'Adua, won the polls. Owing to irreconcilable differences in principles and philosophy, General Buhari bid farewell to the ANPP and together with associates across the country formed the Congress for Progressive Change, CPC. Although the People's General had one of his best outings in the polls, his presidential challenge failed to stop PDP's Goodluck Jonathan from becoming an elected president in 2011. After a protracted but fruitful negotiation on February 2013, Nigeria's 4 biggest opposition parties merged to form the All Progressives Congress, APC. The arrival of APC as a formidable opposition party clearly changed the political equation in the country. In the run-up to the 2015 elections, the party's strength and will to remain as a united front was put to test at its Lagos presidential primary election. Yet from all accounts, the APC came out stronger with a free and transparent election that produced General Muhammadu Buhari as a candidate for the fourth time in his political career. Following a successful campaign, General Buhari got a historic victory in the rescheduled March 28 presidential election. He has gone down in history as the first opposition candidate to defeat an incumbent in Africa's largest democracy. General Buhari was a recipient of many national awards and medals, including the Grand Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, GCFR. He is married with children and grandchildren. General Buhari's well-known anti-corruption stance and drive to instill discipline in the society are widely perceived to be the most important areas his impact will be felt in Nigeria's march to greatness.
A profile there of the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari. The Vice President-elect Professor Yomi Osinbajo is a man many Nigerians may not know much about. A professor of law, he comes with a background which puts him in a good stead for this new assignment as Nigeria's Vice President. Deji Idowu has a profile on Professor Osinbajo.
The Professor Yomi Osinbajo was born in Lagos 58 years ago. He attended Igbo College for his secondary education, University of Lagos for his degree in law, and London School of Economics for his master's in law. After his national youth service, he worked as a lecturer at the University of Lagos till 1988, when he was appointed the Special Advisor to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Prince Bola Ajibola, a position he held till 1992, when he went back to lecturing. He became a professor of law in 1990.
He has such an impact that it's someone that you would like to emulate, students would like to emulate. Not all the positive values. He was a good teacher, good listener, very level-headed. I've never seen him angry. I've never seen him angry, raise his voice for any reason. I've never seen him do that. So it had very positive impact.
He established a private legal practice of Osinbajo in partnership with Kukoyi and Adopaye. He remained a professor of law and head of the Department of Public Law, University of Lagos from 1997 to 1999. He was appointed a member and secretary of a think tank and transition work group that deliberated on strategies to be adopted for effective governance in Lagos State after Senator Bola Tinubu was elected governor of the state in 1999. He was the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice under Tinubu's administration for 8 years. Before his nomination as Vice Presidential candidate of APC, Professor Osinbajo was a senior partner at the law firm of Simmons Cooper Partners. He has also served on the United Nations Secretary General's Committee of Experts on Conduct and Discipline of UN Peacekeeping Personnel, among others.
He has a good pedigree, credential as Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Lagos State.
We sincerely apologize for the poor audio in that report. President Goodluck Jonathan says the legacy of sustained democratic governance will remain evergreen in his mind. He stated this in a nationwide broadcast aftermath of the 2015 presidential election.
Promised the country free and fair elections. I've kept my word. I've also expanded the space for Nigerians to participate in the democratic process. That is one legacy I would like to see endure. Although some people have expressed mixed feelings about the results announced by the Independent National Electoral Commission, I urge those who may feel aggrieved to follow due process based on our Constitution and our electoral laws in seeking redress. As I have always affirmed, nobody's ambition is worth the blood of any Nigerian. The unity, stability, and progress of our dear country is more important than anything else. I congratulate all Nigerians for successfully going through the process of the March 28th general elections with the commendable enthusiasm and commitment that was demonstrated nationwide. I also commend the security services for their role in ensuring that the elections were mostly peaceful and violence-free. To my colleagues in the People's Democratic Party, I thank you for your support. Today, the PDP should be celebrating rather than mourning. We have established a legacy of democratic freedom, transparency, economic growth, and free and fair elections. For the past 16 years, we have steered the country away from ethnic and regional politics. We created a pan-Nigerian political party and brought home to our people the realities of economic development and social transformation. Through patriotism and diligence, we have built the biggest and most patriotic party in Nigerian history. We must stand together as a party and look to the future with renewed optimism. I thank all Nigerians once again for the great opportunity I was given to lead this country, and I assure you that I will continue to do my best at the helm of national affairs until the end of my tenure.
Meanwhile, the European Union Observer Mission has submitted its report to President Goodluck Jonathan on the just concluded presidential and National Assembly election. The EU Observer Group commended Nigerians for showing the world how democracy should be practiced and the nation's commitment to democracy. State House correspondent Segun Lawale reports on this and other solidarity visits.
Members of the European Union Observer Mission to Nigeria, led by its chief observer, Santiago Fisas, were in the presidential villa to brief the president on the mission's findings and recommendations on the general elections. The group did not only commend Nigerians for their peaceful conduct during the elections, but also the president's act of statesmanship, having conceded defeat before the final results were announced, and congratulated his main contender, General Buhari.
So important, so big country as Nigeria, that is an example for all Africa and many countries in the world. And you know, many people didn't expect this kind of elections. No? They expect a lot of problems after the elections, but it's not true. And also, I congratulate President Jonathan, but I would like to congratulate all Nigerian people, because they show a big commitment to go to the elections, not in easy circumstances sometimes. I mean, it was a very long day, a hot day, with some technical problems, but even that, they were there. They show that you Nigerians are true democrats.
The final report is expected to be submitted sometimes in July, when all issues relating to the general elections will have been concluded. Meanwhile, the PDP Governors Forum, led by Godswill Akpabio of Akwa Ibom State, paid a solidarity visit to President Jonathan. The governors commended President Jonathan for sacrificing his political ambition for the overall national interest and peace.
But we as governors came to assure him that we are going by as field commanders to hold our states, and that come 11th of April, PDP will still maintain its lead across Nigeria. Because, of course, everybody knows that the only party that is national in nature and is on ground is the PDP. So we are not going to be undaunted by what has happened. And, of course, the party has already indicated that they will explore all legal means and all in order to ensure redress. So we are also proud of the party. And we want to congratulate all our voters and all PDP faithfuls across Nigeria for their peaceful disposition.
In the State House, Segun Lawale, NTA News.
President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari has expressed deep appreciation to Nigerians for giving him the mandate to serve the country as the president. General Buhari, while reacting to news of his election, says he is fulfilled and promised to do his best to move the country forward. The general was joined by parliamentarians, business moguls and well-wishers who turned up to celebrate the victory with him.
They give me the certificate. Thank you very much.
You're the winner. How does it feel? How does it feel inside?
Well,
12 years.
Fulfilled. We thought that was a good job. That's a good example of a statesmanship. In the same vein, we have come to see General Buhari to congratulate him and also appeal to him, and also through you to appeal to all Nigerians to give this peace a chance.
I think we're all elated, whether those of us in APC, those that voted, men and women, those that came out to vote. I think it's a great day to see democracy entrenched, to see the change that people have always wanted, to see that we have the power as people to make it happen.
I forget about travel differences because I want to use this opportunity to commend not only Jega, but Mr. President himself for conceding defeat even before the conclusion of vote counting.
About 16 years of uninterrupted civil rule in Nigeria, People's Democratic Party has been the ruling party. However, this will change as INEC announced APC's presidential candidate, General Muhammadu Buhari, as the winner of the presidential election. Saliu Abdullahi went around Abuja metropolis to see the mood of the city. The report.
It is a day after a winner has emerged from the last weekend's presidential election. Usual business activities are picking up, just as celebration continues in some parts of Abuja, the nation's capital. Cross-section of Nigerians who spoke to NTA described the post-election activities as what the country desires as a big brother nation in Africa to further strengthen democracy.
In Nigeria today, as far as the history of democracy is concerned, I think I can say holistically that we have begun the journey to democracy in Nigeria.
Well, kudos to the president, because whichever way we tend to look at this, I think it is victory in pockets for all of them.
I'm okay. Here's there's peace. What Nigeria needs peace.
So we're looking up to God to give the leaders wisdom so that they can have a focal point on how to move Nigeria to the next level in different transformations.
The successes so far recorded in the election, they agreed, can be credited to President Goodluck Jonathan, the Independent National Electoral Commission, and the electorate who resolved to go about their activities according to the rules.
For the fact that many countries came to see what is happening here, and going back, they have a good report of this country.
Everybody is saying change, 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 but the change has to come from you and I, you understand, because Baba cannot just perform magic, but Alhamdulillah, he's here, and he's here to come and stay.
In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And also, the ancient city of Daura in Katsina State was thrown into a festive mood following the declaration of Muhammadu Buhari as president-elect. The people of Daura took to the streets to rejoice with their son. Bashir Ibrahim Nababa reports that similar celebrations were conducted peacefully all over Katsina State.
The Kangiwa Square in Daura was a point where hundreds of General Muhammadu Buhari supporters converged to identify with his triumphant at the polls. Major roads in the city witnessed an increase in traffic flow and unprecedented crowd comprising of women and children, as well as supporters chanting victory slogans. Katsina State APC gubernatorial candidate Aminu Bello Masari and former Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Ahmadu Kumasi described General Buhari's success at the polls as victory for Nigeria's democracy.
And if the process established by the for this election is carried forward, I'm telling you in the next 2 or maximum 2 or 3 general elections in Nigeria, you will only pass.
How the election went on, in spite of the many hiccups, it's still held, and people have spoken. They have chosen their own, and we are glad that this is the outcome. And we pray to God Almighty to help him to succeed in his administration.
Since the announcement of the results by INEC chairman, Professor Atahir Jiga, people across the state were in the streets to express their satisfaction with the outcome of the elections. In Katsina, Bashir Ibrahim Nababa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, Lagosians have expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the presidential elections. They also commended Nigerians for their peaceful and orderly conduct. Tunde Sarki, who went to town to seek their views, now reports.
Presidential and parliamentary elections were generally peaceful and Nigerians were commended for their conduct. The one that has caught the attention and admiration of Nigerians is the presidential, with the emergence of the opposition party presidential candidate, General Muhammadu Buhari. Some Nigerians in Lagos describe this as a welcome development, more especially where the result reflected the wishes of Nigerians.
For the first time, a sitting president presided over an election which eventually ended his tenure. So I'm very happy to be a witness to these unforgettable events.
To a large extent, it reflects the wishes of the people. But the beautiful thing again to it is that the president congratulated the winner, which is good for democracy in this country.
I see him assembling a team of people who will be technocrats that will make this country move forward.
With the experience, you understand, and what has happened at this moment of time, we will know that any government that will even come in on board at this moment of time will definitely do the wish of the people.
They also spoke on how Nigerians can harness good governance.
With these positive responses from Nigerians, it is hoped that the best is to be achieved in due course. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
And also from Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, comes a report that the news of the declaration of General Muhammadu Buhari as president-elect was greeted with jubilation in Ibadan metropolis. Those who spoke with News Extra advised all political parties in the country to work together with the incoming administration in the interest of Nigeria. Correspondent Oyeyinka Afolarami has details.
As the news of the result of the presidential election filtered into Ibadan, jubilant crowds took to the streets in solidarity with the winner, General Muhammadu Buhari. The atmosphere was peaceful in all the areas visited in the metropolis as people went about their normal duties, while some of them expressed their views.
Nigeria now is cool and calm.
We pray for the peace of this nation, and we have received the peace.
As we dey suffer, we know when we will suffer again.
Some eminent Nigerians described the emergence of General Buhari as a new dawn.
He has won the combat, the electoral campaign and the conflict and the competition. He has to win the peace. That's the starting point.
The yearnings and aspirations of the people for over a long time. So, and what are they yearning for? Why are they yearning for a change? It's because of the state of economy, the state of insecurity in this country.
And we hope that this period will mark a period of better development in Nigeria.
We Nigerians, we have shown the world that we can do things ourselves.
Our president-elect must be aware of those political psychopaths.
They described the outcome of the election as a perfect will of God in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Afolarami, NTA News.
The acceptance of the outcome of the presidential election by President Goodluck Jonathan has been commended by political class and other Nigerians in Benin City, the Edo State capital. Sele Osayede has details.
The president, shortly before the presentation of Sokoto State result, congratulated the APC presidential candidate, General Muhammadu Buhari, and conceded defeat. This action, Nigerians said, is a victory for democracy and that President Goodluck Jonathan has placed the interests of Nigeria above his personal interests. The president's magnanimity, the respondent said, should not be seen as weakness.
He has shown to the outside world that Nigerians have matured.
He shows his quality as a great leader, and I think for our politics, it's a fantastic omen.
The president has shown that he's a statesman. He loves the unity of our country, Something very salutary in Nigerian politics, and it's something that everybody should learn from. It helps the process and it helps the country.
He has demonstrated that he's now a world-class citizen.
Some other respondents said one major lesson to learn from last Saturday's election is that election should not be seen as a do-or-die affair.
Other lower-the-line political activists and leaders will take a cue from that and help to move politics in the right direction.
Future leaders should emulate Jonathan, and other leaders too should emulate Jonathan in any election.
No politicians will learn from the example Jonathan has given.
Yet, to some other persons, the election is now a benchmark for future elections in Nigeria. In Benin, Selo Sande, NTA News.
In the meantime, the First Lady, Dame Patience Jonathan, has congratulated the wife of the President-elect, Hajia Aisha Buhari, on the election of her husband, General Muhammadu Buhari. The First Lady, in a statement, appeals to Nigerian women to work with the incoming First Lady and give her the maximum support to make her succeed in her new assignment. The First Lady also wished her well in her new task. Still to come, National Peace Committee on the 2015 general election visits Inspector General of Police. Stay with us.
MTN don't give us hella call your own first 11 anytime for happy price. Too much kulele inside new MTN. Call 11 people at happy price. Dial star 560 star 1 star and the number sharp for ya. Oh, be better jolly. 11 go to 11 special people. And to register this person, it is very simple. Sharp. Now you go talk. You go yande go. Plenty kulele inside new MTN.
Enjoy extra long calls at half price to 11 numbers on all networks with the new MTN True Talk. Dial star 560 star 1 star the number to register and hash.
That's not True Talk.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Very call, important call. Play game. My carry don't finish. What you concern me for carry don't finish? I'm gonna play game. Junior, yeah, they come. Very important call. Beg, run fast here. Buy me low credit here. Run fast. I top. But see what I want to do now. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hey! Play.
Make I load my credit.
Play game. Don't dull me. Mama Kimuche don't arrange. Heavy corner they wait for me.
When I load them.
Do quick, make a beat you, make a go.
Thank you. Sammy, where blow overload through you go?
Get 5 times your recharge guarantee from 200 naira. When you load 200 naira, you get 1,000 naira. And when you load 1,000 naira, that's a whopping 5,000 naira. Also, get 4.5 gigabytes data for 2,500 naira only. 5 times bonus. Dial star 200 hash to register.
Good people of Nigeria, during the general elections, accreditation of voters will take place in all polling units from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Card readers will be used to verify the permanent voter's card presented by each voter. Names of voters who pass the verification by the card reader will be checked in the voters register and duly accredited. Voting will commence at 1:30 p.m. till the last person on the queue has voted. Do not come to the polling unit with another person's voter's card. Keep away from the polling unit not have a permanent voter's card. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission,
supported by the European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development DGD2 project. INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
The two most urgent security challenges confronting critical national assets and infrastructure are terrorism and vandalism. The vandals are declaring war.
We can win this battle.
With our combined cumulative effort, that Nigerians will indeed do it.
As we prepare for the forthcoming election, Nigerians, let's put a stop to vandalism of PHCN cables, telecommunication cables, illegal bunkering and vandalism of petroleum pipelines, which have resulted into pipeline fire explosion, killing and maiming of lives, causing environmental degradation. Stop vandalism, including ballot papers, ballot boxes, polling booths, INEC and collating centum before the long arm of the law gets you.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, protecting lives and the nation's infrastructure.
Where they scatter nation's property.
Dreams lie before me. Gotta seize a moment. Do you see it now? The sky from within. Oh, what a feeling. Oh, what a feeling.
Hollandia yogurt. Feel the goodness within. Flaunt the goodness outside. Hollandia yogurt. It's all good. House of
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth lies in our people. People who build the cities that shape the future. People who know an idea in one place means business in another. A generation for whom technology means there are no borders, no boundaries. We are the new lions in a brave new world, kings of the urban jungle. And there's a bank that puts the world in our pocket and the future in our hands. UBA, Africa's global bank.
You are still watching NTA's Network News. Thanks for being there. The Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, today played host to members of the National Peace Committee on the 2015 general election. Bonaventure Wodo has the report.
Less than 24 hours, President Goodluck Jonathan congratulated General Muhammad Buhari, winner of the 2015 presidential election. General Salami Abubakar, former head of state and chairman National Peace Committee, was at first headquarters to see the Inspector General of Police. You may be wondering if there are fresh security challenges as to why such high-powered delegation visited the Inspector General of Police. On the contrary, the delegation was there to thank the Inspector General and the police community for their civility, professional display, and exceptional conduct during the presidential and National Assembly elections. John Cardinal Onaikon spoke on behalf of the committee.
We need to commend the police because despite the atmosphere of tension and even fears about general insecurity, it was made clear that the statutory responsibility to maintain law and order rested with the IG and his men and women.
General Salami Abubakar says comprehensive security calls for all hands to be on deck and urge Nigerians to desist from undue accusation of security agents largely based on ignorance.
So I want to appeal to all Nigerians to put hand on deck to assist the police in assisting us, the citizens of this country.
This visit means a lot to us, not only because we have done something, but also because we have a lot ahead of us. The moment you recognize someone, there is always the tendency that he will work hard to do better.
The Inspector General also presented documentation of books containing police operational guidelines for the conduct of the election. In Abuja, Bonaventure Mudo, NTA News.
In the meantime, the national president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, Pastor Ayo Orisha Jafo, has congratulated the president-elect, Major General Muhammadu Buhari, for winning the 2015 presidential election. In a statement, the CAN president also acknowledged the peaceful atmosphere that prevailed in the country during the last Saturday's election. Pastor Ayo Orisha Jafo commended President Goodluck Jonathan for exhibiting sportsmanship by conceding defeat. The CAN president also reiterated the call for peaceful Nigeria, irrespective of religious, ethnic and political differences. President Goodluck Jonathan has been described as a patriotic leader with a spirit of sportsmanship who has, through acceptance of the 28th presidential election result, kept his promise of deepening the nation's democratic process by enhancing a free, fair and credible election in Nigeria. This was the view of discussants on NTA's current affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria. Joy Uzo has the excerpts.
Participants stated that President Goodluck Jonathan made history by being the first incumbent Nigerian president to concede defeat to an opposition who scored more votes than him in a keenly contested election. Describing the 2015 presidential election as peaceful, they noted that the new transition in the nation's democratic process will no doubt present Nigeria in a good light before the international community.
That's the best thing that Jonathan did. In the absence of that statement, we cannot predict thousands of lives that will be lost if by today we didn't get any kind of statement from him that he accepted the result. So I think Nigerians owe him gratitude.
I'm also proud of the work that all segments of the Nigerian community did. At a time when our country was challenged, everybody rose to be greater than people thought we could be.
A major lesson from the election discussants noted is that it will be an end to seeing election as a do-or-die affair.
One lesson we must learn from this election is the fact that the power of the people is far greater than that of the set of leaders they have elected.
I will appeal that the president-elect show magnanimity in victory, and some media reports already say, some people are saying they will go on exile, nobody should go on exile in Nigeria. Nigerians will start now to rebuild this country.
While noting that the election is an indication that the yearnings of the people is important, they urged new leadership taking over on May 29 to work assiduously in order to meet the expectations of Nigerians. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has been applauded for the sportsmanship spirit he exhibited by accepting defeat. This was the view of discussants on NTA's current affairs program, Tuesday Live. That President Goodluck Jonathan has displayed the spirit of sportsmanship worthy of emulation, as they stressed the electoral system will continue to get better. Talatu Ezerike reports.
The discussants expressed appreciation over the heroic action of President Goodluck Jonathan to congratulate General Muhammadu Buhari for his victory in the 28th March presidential elections. And actions they noted that will not only expand the democratic culture, come to ensure unstopped violence, but the fulfillment of President Jonathan's campaign promises that no election is worth the blood of any Nigeria.
That single statement by the president at 5:15 p.m. calmed down all Nigerians. And I want to really appreciate President Goodluck Jonathan for this.
The IG sent a note this evening to all commissioners of police to please use opinion leaders, traditional rulers, religious leaders, chiefs within communities, and then the leaders of the winning party. Please caution your members that in celebrating, they should beware not to lose lives in celebrating.
For the Independent National Electoral Commission, identified challenges will be corrected for excellent delivery in the forthcoming April 11th governorship and states House of Assembly elections.
We had a memorandum of understanding with the National Union of Road Transport Workers, but at the last minute, when the union should have helped us, move men and materials to the polling units, they failed us, and that resulted in late arrival of men and materials in some polling units on election day. Now, we are going to revisit this memorandum of understanding. We are going to stay focused. We are going to address the logistic challenges that we have observed.
They all assured Nigerians that the nation will remain one indivisible nation that will continue to be respected among the Committee of Nations. Talate Zorike, NTA News.
As more congratulatory messages continue to pour in, the Senate President, David Mark, has congratulated the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, over his victory at the polls, describing it as a reflection of the wishes of Nigeria's majority. Reacting to the election, Senator Mark also noted the political resilience of General Buhari, urged him to be magnanimous in victory and govern Nigeria's equitably and fairly, irrespective of party affiliations or creed. He said for conceding defeat in the spirit of sportsmanship, President Jonathan has further confirmed Nigeria's leadership in the Committee of African Nations, where heads of governments are perceived to be sit-tight leaders. The Senate President said history will be kind to President Jonathan as a worthy statesman. He also urged Nigerians to remain calm and peaceful during the transition process. Also, the chairman of the Northern States Governors Forum and the Niger State Governor, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, has also congratulated the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, on his victory. In a statement by the Chief Press Secretary, Israel Ibeji, Dr. Aliyu said his victory should be seen as a victory for democracy in Nigeria. The group also hailed President Jonathan for conceding defeat and their colleagues elected to the National Assembly. The Northern Governors Forum urged Nigerians to continue to unite for the peace of the nation. The Director of Media and Publicity of the PDP Presidential Campaign Organization, Femi Fani Kayode, has congratulated the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, on the victory in the March 28 presidential election. While briefing journalists in Abuja, the media director also commended President Goodluck Jonathan for having the courage to concede defeat.
To a point that we must tell the world and the Nigerian people about how we feel about the outcome of the election. What we will say here today is basically to reiterate and to reflect the words of our leader and president, President Goodluck Jonathan. We start by saying that we commend and congratulate General Muhammadu Buhari for winning this election. We also wish to commend our president, President Goodluck Jonathan, for having the courage to concede that he has lost at the earliest moment, and also for being able to stand up and rise above party politics and being able to speak like a statesman.
More Nigerians have continued to congratulate the President-elect, General Muhammadu Buhari, while commending the spirit of sportsmanship displayed by President Goodluck Jonathan by conceding defeat after the announcement of the results. Chimobi Naji reports.
Senator Nwobodo appealed to General Buhari to quickly reunite Nigerians as the voting pattern in the last election showed a great divide across ethnic and religious divide. Emphasizing that campaigns and elections are over, Senator Nwobodo assured the president-elect that the Igbos will support and cooperate with him and the government in moving Nigeria forward. He reminded General Buhari that Nigerians, irrespective of tribe, tongue, and religion are his responsibility and should be given a sense of belonging. Senator Nwobodo also congratulated President Goodluck Jonathan for his sportsmanship in conceding defeats. In Enugu, Amaka Onoima, NTA News.
The Igbo Conventional Group, IGC, says it's optimistic the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari will live up to his promise to offer the Igbo nation needed leverage that will enable them fully tap their enormous potentials in the new government. The chief convener of the group and former governor of Imo State, Ikedia Ohakim, stated this while addressing the media in Abuja. Ruben Okala reports.
While saluting President Goodluck Jonathan for providing a conducive atmosphere for free and fair election, the group pledged to support the new administration in the quest to revive the economy and tackling the Boko Haram insurgency.
ICG believes he has what it takes to live up to expectations in this regard, so that Ndi Igbo can go back to their businesses in the affected areas, having lost over $7 billion as a result of Boko Haram insurgency.
The Igbo Conversational Group appealed to the president-elect to carry the Igbo nation along in the scheme of things. These include provision of electricity to additional states, as well as general road infrastructure, among others.
One of the key issues the ICG will be doing in the next couple of months or years is going to be to make sure we bring back the Igbos into the national political equation.
The group also spoke on the need to retrieve Ndigbo abandoned property in Rivers State, as well as revitalizing a Somoto seaport in Igbo land. In Abuja, Ruben Okala, NTA News.
In the meantime, Speaker Aminu Waziri Tambuwal has urged lawmakers to remain steadfast in the fresh opportunity on the charge towards nation building. Speaker Tambuwal gave the advice in his welcome speech to members after the presidential and National Assembly elections. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Okafor reports that issues and bills listed in the order paper were deferred for the next legislative day.
Speaker Tambuwal congratulated the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari for his victory at the polls. He similarly congratulated President Goodluck Jonathan for showing outstanding magnanimity in defeat.
To all aspirants and candidates, as well as participating political parties at these 2015 elections, it is now immaterial whether one lost or won the votes for the elected positions contested. In the emerging scenario, all are winners in the deepening of our democracy.
Speaker Tambuwal noted that although the process had not been without hitches, he however acknowledged the role of INEC in ensuring a free and fair electoral process. He urged members to place national interest above sectional and political leanings. He also thanked Nigerian armed forces for their gallantry in liberating territories hitherto held by terrorists, ensuring that election took place in the areas. Some of the lawmakers reacted to the outcome of the elections.
I think it's important that the two parties remain as competitive players in the field, and that we don't do what is traditionally what we do. Everybody goes to the winning party, and again we return to a situation where there isn't the check and balances of competitive politics.
The task of nation building is one that must transcend party lines. And so in spite of the outcomes, the expectations from the National Assembly would be a stronger National Assembly that carries out its oversight over laws, appropriations, and policies.
There's a new culture that's coming in place, and is part of the things that PDP has brought to the table.
They should consolidate on what has been done in the past. In that way, we'll save more. In that way, we achieve more. In that way, we'll move faster.
The only thing that is permanent in life is change. It will come when it will come.
The House has adjourned till April 14 to allow lawmakers participate in the Easter celebration and the April 11 elections. From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
Some Nigerians in Kaduna have called on the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari to build structures that will unite Nigeria and reposition the country to a higher pedestal of economic prosperity. They were reacting to the victory of the President-elect at the polls and their expectations. Correspondent Ndiang Gyang reports.
With the elections over and the emergence of General Muhammadu Buhari as president-elect, a cross-section of prominent personalities have called on General Buhari to focus on the task ahead of putting up structures that will build Nigeria.
That Nigerians have given him the chance. We are expecting to see that thing he wants to do differently so that Nigeria can be better.
To unite this country as one entity, because Nigerians have risen with one voice that he is the one that can handle this problem.
I pray the general will succeed in cancelling two things in Nigeria: religion and tribal sentiment.
Pray, and I hope that the general will keep to his campaign promises and fulfill them for the betterment of this country.
While commending the statesmanship of President Jonathan, they urge Nigerians to appreciate the challenges ahead of the president-elect.
It's going to require time for the president to be able to lay the foundation, the structures.
Democracy is two-way traffic. We should also contribute. We should give constructive criticism, constructive advice.
Continue the peaceful way they have conducted themselves. How these coming 4 years should be progressive, united.
Said that the election will go down in history as the most credible election in the country. In Kaduna, I am Ndenyan Andeabagyang, NTA News.
Ndeyan Gyang's report there on the expectation of some Nigerians in Kaduna. Up ahead, business news and more congratulatory messages for the president-elect. Stay with us.
Has solid rules.
1, 2, 3.
Rule number 1, friends stay close. Friends in the tribe, stay closer. Feel me?
Rule number 2, in the tribe, you always know what's up with Facebook, WhatsApp, BB, and Twitter. Guess what? It's free.
Rule number 3, there are no rules with SMS. It's endless. Yes, boss.
Rule number 4, enjoy very long conversations with a special someone.
Enjoy endless connections to your friends with free calls, free WhatsApp, Twitter, Facebook, and BBM. You also enjoy up to 200% bonus on your recharges to call all networks. Migrate now by dialing *312# and start a live endless connection.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Taste the nectar of paradise. True exotic nectar in pineapple, coconut, multi-fruiter, and other exotic flavors. The taste will take you there. True exotic nectar, escape to paradise.
From the House of Chi.
Everybody hurts. Everybody walks along the lonely road sometimes. Let me take your hand. 'Cause to me your happiness is just as good as mine. And you will be
Lead Assurance, ensuring happiness since 1970.
It was ambitious. Someone had to do it. That's insane. Some say. But why do it? Some asked. There are over 170 million reasons why. But why you, the persistent? If not us, then who? Which other provider will invest so much in our country than the one with the most at stake? Investing billions in drawing the Glow 1 submarine cable through the continents, from America to England, to Portugal, to North Africa, all the way through and finally home to West Africa, bringing with us massive internet bandwidth on the infrastructure that makes it possible.
Stay ahead. Upgrade to Glow Mobile Broadband, high-speed internet for everyone. Enjoy the new all-purpose data pack. Use it the way you want. 1-day pack for 50 naira and 7-day pack for 200 naira.
You're still watching NTA's Network News, and thank you for still staying with us. Now, talking business, experts analyze the impact of holidays on the economy as the Nigeria Stock Exchange continues to close positively. Details with Abdullahi Mohammed on Business News.
Good evening. This is Business News, and my name is Abdullahi Mohammed. The norm around this environment is for businesses to remain closed while movements are restricted during elections. This is to ensure security and curb any form of violence. This scenario, however, has a huge negative impact on businesses and by extension the economy. NTA Business News sought the views of economic analysts on how much the country lose on election days. Last year, Nigeria overtook South Africa to become the continent's biggest economy with a GDP of about 80 trillion naira. Business activities from the small trading unit to the multinational manufacturing, as well as other forms of productivity within Nigeria, make up the GDP. A standstill of these business activities as a result of public holidays, economic analysts say, translates to an estimated 3 trillion naira loss to the economy.
You have a GDP of over 80 trillion. So if you are shutting down the economy for 1 day, for 2 days, it takes its toll on the output, which is the GDP. And you are looking at something in the range of close to 3 trillion per day, for instance, of the GDP. So it have an impact on the GDP, which is the output of the economy.
Meanwhile, the campaign against substandard products has continued to yield positive results as products worth more than 500 million naira were destroyed. The affected products range from electric cables to used tires, electric bulbs and auto batteries. Mobile phones are also not left out.
Some of them are wrongly labeled. Some have no country of origin or manufacturer's label, while some were already leaking on the supermarket shelves. The LPG cylinders, as I told you, are supposed to be appropriately marked.
And now we move on to the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange for details of transactions today. The Nigerian Stock Exchange has continued to close on a positive note. Market capitalization rose from 10.938 trillion yesterday to 11.621 trillion today. The all-share index also shot up to close 34,684.14 points. The total transactions recorded today was valued at 10.938 billion naira in a total of 4,611 deals. That's Business News. Thanks for being part of it. News Extra continues shortly.
Thank you, Abdullahi. And now from business, more congratulatory messages. The United Progressives Party, UPP, has congratulated the President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari on his resounding victory in the just concluded 2015 presidential election in Nigeria. National Chairman and presidential candidate of UPP, NOA South Korea, says although UPP is in the opposition, the party extends its hand of fellowship to the incoming government in the interest of national unity and development as a result of the outcome of the 2015 presidential election. The party also commended President Goodluck Jonathan for his prompt acceptance of the outcome of the 2015 presidential election, describing the action as one that has set the stage for a peaceful post-elections in Nigeria in a manner and style that is unprecedented in statesmanship, maturity, nobility, and grace. The presidential candidate of the United Democratic Party, Barrister Godson Okoye, has joined other eminent Nigerians to appreciate God for a peaceful conduct of the just concluded presidential and National Assembly elections. Correspondent Kunle Adebajo reports that Barrister Godson Okoye commended the act of sportsmanship exhibited by the sitting president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan,
and congratulated General Muhammadu Buhari on his emergence as the president-elect.
He congratulated the winner, General Muhammadu Buhari, for his resilience and urged him to see every part of the country as his constituency, irrespective of the party and religious affiliations. While commending the massive turnout of the electorate, says Nigerians have now seen the whole democratic process as their own. Democracy as a representative government is expected to cater for the generality of citizens, irrespective of social, political divides. Ignatius Nko in this report takes a look at the reconciliatory features of politics in Nigeria.
Politics has been described as the practice of the distribution of power and resources in a state or any organized human population, facilitated under democratic principles, whereby representative government accommodates all shades of opinions and vested interest within society, enabling a process of articulation of ideas within the system of governance for distribution of national resources.
Representative democracy, the interests of all constituencies and constituents are taken into consideration and represented. And that is why you see every constituency we have a member either in the National Assembly or in the State Assembly, and then at the lower level, at the local government level, you will see councillors representing the interests of their people.
The man who represents you in the National Assembly, who ordinarily should first understand that identity, resets back to his ethnic, religious, political, and not the Nigerian. So it is a walk.
In liberal democracies, government carries out its functions through established structures and institutions, and in Nigeria through the three tiers of government: the executive, legislature, and the judiciary. And because politics and government are operated by humans, there is bound to exist divergent interests, where these three institutions play the role of reconciling these interests. Of these institutions of government, the legislature plays the major role of reconciliation of interest through proper representation.
At the National Assembly level that you have talked about, they have done one or two little things here, but they have shown themselves to be more interested in serving themselves, in serving their pockets. That is where their take-home is the most humongous. No, that was why at the National Conference last year, I was one of those crusaders that we need only a unicameral National Assembly. We don't need 109 members in the Senate, then 360 members in the House of Representatives. What do we need them for? 109 members are enough to represent this country.
The presidential system of government, with the three tiers of government spreading across board, the federal, state, and local government, typified the image of representation and provide for the reconciliation of interest. Politics provide a basis for distribution of resources. This is done through budgeting. The president presents the annual budget, which must be approved in a balanced manner by the lawmakers to ensure even distribution. The concurrent list also serves as a meeting point for reconciliation of vested interests.
In fact, last year we had to, recommend at the National Conference that from now onwards, any time the government does not pass its own budget before December, before November of a year, there should be a shutdown of government. Because what has been happening up to now as I'm talking to you, the 2015 budget has not even been passed by the National Assembly. March has finished. So what are you going to use the budget to do? In those days, we used to have what you call 5-year development plan. There, you will see it sequentially listed as to what the government is going to do in the next 5 years.
It's in a bid to further ensure even distribution of resources that the Federal Character Commission was established in 1996 to ensure that socio-economic amenities and opportunities are equitably distributed among the federating units.
Those who designed the Federal Character Commission took into consideration the political dynamics of Nigeria, took into consideration the educational issues in Nigeria, and also took into consideration both the religious and ethnic dynamics of our federation. And I agree.
So far, since its inception, it has been concerned with the issue of employment, which you must agree with me that is one of the major problems that our country has. And the Commission is doing tremendously well to ensure federal character compliance in all organizations within the purview of the Commission.
All these form the kernel of government, which is produced by the political system. But because of the attitude of some Nigerian politicians, politics in Nigeria has been viewed by many as dirty. a game of wits and taken to the extreme of the survival of the fittest, and winner or winners takes all, leaving the vanquished totally consigned to being forgotten. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
A cross-section of Nigerians have enjoined President Goodluck Jonathan as the man of the just concluded presidential election. This follows an uncommon courage in conceding defeat to President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari, whom he congratulated even before the official announcement of the election result. Jane Ojoku has the report.
Though the presidential and National Assembly elections were held peacefully across the country, the long process of collation and announcement of results generated a lot of anxiety among Nigerians. Traffic on Lagos roads were usually low, while offices closed early in anticipation of disturbances that may likely occur after the announcement of election results. All these, however, became like a storm in a teacup, as President Goodluck Jonathan gallantly conceded defeat and warmly congratulated President-elect General Muhammadu Buhari even before the official announcement. This not only doused tension but also endeared President Goodluck Jonathan to Nigerians for having kept his word.
I want to give it to our president. It is not easy, in fact, in this part of the world, especially in Africa, to accept defeat just like that.
We thank God that the President Dr. Goodluck Jonathan conceded defeat and congratulated General Buhari, and that has gone a long way in easing the tension in the land.
The attitude of the president, by calling General Buhari, I think that was a very good one.
I will declare Jega good luck, man of the match of the election.
The people's verdict is apt. In Lagos, Jane Ujuku, NTA News.
Countries of the Gulf of Guinea to build maritime capabilities. Details shortly.
As the Debt Management Office Nigeria offers you an opportunity to invest in Federal Government of Nigeria bonds. FGN bonds are debt securities of Federal Government of Nigeria issued under the authority of the DMO. FGN bonds offer several benefits to the investor. 1. Principal and interest are secured by the Federal Government of Nigeria. 2. Are listed and traded on the Nigerian Stock Exchange. 3. Can be used as collateral for borrowing. 4. Investors receive regular income in the form of interest payment. 5. Can be sold before maturity if the investor needs cash. You can directly contact Stanbic IBTC stockbrokers, who is the government stockbroker, or any licensed stockbroker. You can also buy at the primary auction through banks and discount houses. With as little as 10,000 naira, you can invest in FGN bonds at the primary auction held every month or any business day. Contact Stanbic IBTC stockbrokers or other licensed stockbrokers today and be part of this great investment opportunity. FGN bonds. Prosperity for all.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
Pure premium quality granulated sugar. So sweet and delicious. It will make you even more.
Sweet, 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 sweet.
Pure finest quality vitamin A enriched sugar. Manufactured to the highest global standards. Just for your enjoyment. Pure sugar. How sweet it is.
The body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another.
What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection with added menthol to protect from germs. Cool gives you maximum protection against germs every day from head to toes and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool.
Dettol. Be 100% sure.
Every time you get on the pitch, nothing feels better than giving 100%. When you hear the sound of thousands of our fans roaring, you just have to. And for us, nothing's better than Chivita 100%. With 100% goodness and 100% satisfaction. play with 100% or nothing. Chivita 100%. 100% or nothing.
During the 2015 general election, slated for 28th March and 11th April 2015, thousands of Nigerians will be serving as election officials. These include Youth Corps members who will be serving as presiding and assistant presiding officers. Other Nigerians will work as collation officers and returning officers. In addition, many officials of INEC will be in the field supervising elections and providing backup support. Fellow Nigerians, it is our collective duty to protect election officials before, during, and after elections. We should not allow anyone attack electoral officials. No election official should be injured or made to lose his or her life. Our young Youth Corps members participating must be protected wherever they're serving. We also wish to make it abundantly clear that security agencies will be present and ready to deal with anybody or group of persons with attempt to foment trouble or compromise the safety and well-being of its officials. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission,
supported by the European Union through the UNDP Democratic Governance for Development Project.
INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Thanks for being there. Countries within the Gulf of Guinea have resolved to jointly build maritime capabilities and forge partnership that will ensure absolute security in the Gulf of Guinea. This consensus was reached at the just concluded military exercise which took place in Ghana. Lian Leneke reports.
The threat posed by the activities of pirates, smugglers, oil theft and human trafficking has had negative impacts on social, economic and political life of countries in the Gulf of Guinea. These crimes transcend international boundaries. Therefore, the concerted efforts by the countries within the Gulf of Guinea call for effective collaboration as well as strengthening of strategies to curtail the rising maritime threats. These informed the joint exercise Obagame Express 2015.
These maritime challenges, security challenges, threaten global trade and the economies of the countries in the region. It requires collaborative effort to combat it.
To join this global network of navies during the International Sea Power Symposium in Newport, he stressed the importance of strengthening the bonds of international maritime cooperation so that we're better postured to collectively face
Rear Admiral Jonathan Ango, who led the Nigerian Navy to the joint exercise, pointed out that countries within the Gulf of Guinea, especially Nigeria, have lost huge resources to maritime criminals.
Once we have surveillance mechanism, and then there are bilateral and multilateral relations that have been worked out between the countries of the Gulf of Guinea, I think a lot will be achieved.
According to the Nigerian Navy, collaboration such as this is testimony to the country's commitment to improving economic ties and cooperation in the field of regional security. From Ghana Armed Forces Command and Staff College, I am Lynn Lenake.
In the meantime, the National Orientation Agency, NOA, is exploring ways of collaborating with South Korea in the area of technology development and training towards strengthening relations. This came to light when the South Korea ambassador to Nigeria visited the Director General NOA, Mike Omeri, in his office in Abuja. Phoebe Kabruk completes the story.
Ambassador to the DG NOA was to further explore areas of more collaboration as well as cultural exchanges beneficial to both countries. Speaking on the issue of insecurity, which has assumed a global dimension, Ambassador Q. Duke said acts of terrorism in whatever form must be condemned by all who cherish peace and pledge his country's support to Nigeria, especially in combating the Boko Haram insurgency. He commended the Nigerian government's efforts and commitment towards conducting a free, fair and peaceful general elections.
Nigeria is the future of Africa. Your leadership role is very important. If you succeed, whole continent will succeed.
DG National Orientation Agency Mike Omeri, who congratulated South Korea for the giant strides in technological development, said the agency has commenced some training programs for staff of the agency in that country. He restated Nigeria's desire to play its part in the global space and looks forward to working closely to change the negative stories to that of peace and progress along with the global community.
And explore further areas of collaboration.
collaboration so that we can learn the interchanges that make our two countries unique, makes our president excited to receive you, to work with you here, make the citizens of Nigeria not just only look for you, but today products from Korea are becoming household names in Nigeria.
Phoebe.
Still to come, sports update when we return in just a moment.
So, Afana, don't you do so? Na promo. You step on become millionaire. You never hear say now that don't bring wetin they call mobile authentication service. We go help us know whether medicine na fake or not before we pay. Now come see. As I scratch this thing wey be like recharge card so, come send the pin to 38353 free of charge. I will call receive text message to confirm. Okay, original. Troy, just like that, we confirm whether medicine now fake or not instant. That way you self don't wise up. Make you help not and spread the story na the way that. Madam, come and take my money.
Now, National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, they bring on this message.
Know that you are exposed to up to 100 illness-causing germs every day.
I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on my Dettol to fight germs. It's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. My Dettol disinfects surfaces and clothes, keeping them clean and safe from germs.
Now talking sports, Super Falcons continue training for Africa Games qualifier as Mo Farah is set to compete in Qatar. Manzi Marcus reports.
Nigerian national women's team, the Super Falcons, continued training in Abuja on Tuesday for the All-Africa Games qualifier against Mali on April 10. The team is working hard to be part of the All-Africa Games after missing out in the last edition in Mozambique.
Okay, you can as well see from the training, it's very high.
Okay. How many players are in camp?
Right now, we are 26 in camp.
We drew the first game, it's not a bad one. I think with the return leg, Nigeria is going to qualify for the All-African Games.
Leader of the European Club
3523 096303525.
And that's how it's been on News Extra tonight. From everyone here, we thank you so much for watching. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.